Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Dennis and Andy Show movie review just for you because we care. Dune Part 2. Dune Part 1 came out in 2021. Finally, this movie got pushed back. It's finally out. And this was Dennis's second go around seeing it. It was my first go around. Dennis, give us the rundown of what the movie's about, like you always do.
Well, Dune Part 2 will explore the mystical journey of Paul Atreides as he unites with Chani, played by Zendaya, and the Fremen while on a warpath of revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. Facing a choice between the love of his life and the fate of the known universe, he endeavors to prevent a terrible future that only he can foresee.
There you go. And, they're called the Fremen. And sometimes you might want to call them Fremenese.
Oh boy.
I was sitting on that one for a while.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So, I I'll give it this first. It's definitely a grand scale type movie. The graphic shows IMAX. We did not see it in IMAX, but I will say if you can see it in IMAX, you probably should. It is everything in this movie is grandiose, as in everything is big, everything is epic, everything is wide and vast. I'm just watching some of these shots in this movie, thinking, where does the real end and the CG begin? The performances. What's the main actor's name?
Timothée Chalamet.
That's right. Now, here's the thing. I thought all the actors, really did great jobs. I don't like that kid for some reason though.
Oh, wow. No. Okay. So this movie, because, we might as well hit for me, two tiny little negatives. This movie was phenomenal in almost every respect. If I had two little criticisms, it was one, Timothée Chalamet, I think, plays a great young Paul Atreides, the kid that's growing up, learning this stuff. I think he fit. The problem is you have to move forward in time so much where, this movie wasn't quite like the books, where he has to have this huge commanding presence.
Right.
And actually, I thought he did an adequate job considering that was my big question mark going into it. I thought it was fine. It was a little weak sauce, but all in all, it was fine. My real complaint was Dave Bautista. The fight with Beast and Gurney was way too quick. That was something I wanted to see drawn out. It was already a 2 hour and 46 movie. Give us the extra 3 minutes and let's have a real fight scene.
Yeah.
So
and
that was my negative. I mean, that's all the negative I can see. The shots were beautiful. The acting was phenomenal. The story, although slightly different than the book in some respects, was absolutely fantastically told. This is an epic movie that I will be buying on 4K, just like I did the first Dune. And nothing on David Lynch, but this is such a better version than his. But I know it's not the one he wanted to make. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I will agree with you. I think Timothée Chalamet there in the beginning, he just didn't seem leader-esque, but he grew into it definitely by the end. I totally agree with the fight. That fight with Bautista and Josh Brolin, I expected a hell of a lot more out of that. When it was over, I remember leaning over to you going, holy shit, Cable just killed Drax. And then, MJ got into a fight with Cable at one point in the movie. That's Zendaya's character, of course. Yeah, that was weak. That should have been more. That made Bautista's character look like such a puss knob. It's not even funny. I thought that should have been done better. I was telling Courtney this on the way home last night. It's tough because I said, when you review a movie, you definitely you got to wear two hats. You got to do your movie reviewer hat. And what I mean by that is you can't go into it. Like, personally, I thought the movie, I'm going to quote Chuck Dixon. Chuck Dixon wrote on Facebook a couple days ago. He goes, I'm paraphrasing, but it was still very short. He said, I'm just not a Dune guy. I don't get it. I'm just not a Dune guy. Which wasn't bashing anything. It's just not for his taste. And honestly, that's where I fall. 2 hours and 46 minutes. I thought it definitely felt like it. I thought the 4 hour Justice League went quicker. I was bored at times. And then I realized it's not the movie. It's not for me. I will not see any other Dune movies past this one. I actually told Courtney there were a couple points in the movie that if it was just her and I would have looked at her and said, "Do you want to leave?" And she actually said she would have said no because she wants, even if she doesn't like stuff, she wants to stay till the end. She was bored as well. She's not a Dune person either. But that's where I say I have to separate from the movie reviewer and look at it in the more subjective way, which is it was a beautiful movie. It really was. It was like everything I said in the beginning, epic, vast, the shots, the directing, the performances were all really good. But personally, I don't care. It's not for me. And that's why after the movie was over, I didn't want to, Dennis and I will usually have a little conversation after the movie. But I even told Courtney, Dennis, after the movie, he had to hit the can. And I told Courtney specifically, I said, do not mention anything about the movie because I don't want to get into a conversation about it because I want to save it for this morning. In regards to my personal feelings going, I'm not a Dune guy, apparently.
You are not a Dune guy. They had looked at doing Dune originally in the 1970s, and they had a lot of stuff lined up. And if they could have had this vision back in the 1970s, which would have been well before Star Wars came out,
oh yeah,
this would have set the expectations of science fiction. I think this movie would have rewritten the way we view science fiction today. Instead, Star Wars came out, and on the heels of a Star Trek, and everything we see is geared more towards the Star Wars type of science fiction. I really feel that this whole universe that was created, this would be completely different. If this would have been the movie that could have come out, I think it would have reshaped everything. That
yeah, I can agree with that. But I think they realized, they did do Dune obviously in the early 80s. And I'll be honest, I've never seen it.
And it was okay. Some people really hated it. It is not the movie that David Lynch wanted to create. He's been very open about that, but they had their hands in the pie, and it was okay. It was the storytelling was a little fuddled. I still found it enjoyable. This movie, or pair of movies, let's call it, rewrites everything, and although differing slightly from the book in areas, they really held true, and they brought these visualizations, the gladiatorial scene with the black sun overhead, how everything is in black and white, and the combat scenes, using the atomics and how they do it. I actually never thought I would see a great version of that on the big screen. This more than met my expectations. It exceeded in every single aspect. And I have not read the book since I was in high school, which obviously that was a long time ago. It isn't something that I would sit down and reread over and over again, but enough of the movie still maintains where
I've never read the book, but I'm going to go out on a limb just from these movies and say, this book has got to be long. Like,
it's a big book. Yeah. If I remember, it's 900 pages.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How many? So here's a question. The book, like these two movies, right, as a whole, how many pages would you say covers these two movies? Does that make sense?
If memory serves, and you guys can correct me in the chat, I think Dune Part 1 was probably the first 450, 500 pages.
Oh,
And then Part 2 was the rest of the first novel.
oh,
And
so there's
now
more. See, this shows my total ignorance. So there's more Dune novels after the first one.
there's 6.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
so this is like I said, the Holy War is starting, and then I won't get into too much details. And honestly, guys, there are so many Dune nerds out there that are way bigger than us. You will probably find an endless supply of great videos out there dealing into it. I tried staying away from everything. I don't like watching reviews. I don't want to see explanations on everything until afterwards. And then I'd be curious. I just want to experience this movie like I do with all of them as is, get my feral reaction to it, when the movie's done, either good or bad. And, and how I base a lot of my ratings and stuff is how did I feel after that movie? Or were there so many plot holes in this thing that, I couldn't take it anymore? I walked out of this so incredibly satisfied. I haven't been this happy walking out of a film since probably Top Gun Maverick.
yeah, it's amazing. I've never seen Dennis actually skip before, like kids do, and he walked out skipping, clicking his heels together. I was like, well, I guess he liked it. Um, let's. I don't know. Do we need to do a spoiler review of this?
No,
I don't think
I
so.
was going to say, like I said, there is so much on here. I will say there's not much we can talk about. The fight scene with the Emperor. A shout out to Austin Butler playing Fayed. Sting did it in David Lynch's, and he was the best in that. Austin Butler was fantastic.
He was
He was
phenomenal.
psychotic. He was great. All the characters, Javier Bardem as Stilgar, absolutely loved him. Rebecca Ferguson, still one of my favorites. Florence Pugh, we finally get to see.
Oh,
And,
she was great. Skarsgård. Is just. I think Skarsgård was one of the best.
yeah,
The
yeah,
main bad guy.
yeah,
And the funny thing is, I don't know if you knew this. Skarsgård actually likes sitting in the makeup chair. So apparently he had tons of prosthetics, and
yeah.
he said he would show up on set and everybody else had the little dots all over him and stuff because they didn't, even if it was stuff that could be done, they were like, nah, we're good. And
That's
but he
awesome.
likes, so that's cool. Like I said, let's it's I'm not a Dune guy. Let's give it our CGC score. You can go first. I have a feeling I could probably guess yours.
But go ahead, guess it.
9.5.
Well, it's not a real thing, but 9.6. Yes, you are really close because we do the CGC rating.
Oh, that's right.
So we are. I'm at a 9.6. Like I said, other than those couple of little things I would have liked to have seen change a little bit, the Dave Bautista fight, give me 3 more minutes of that, it probably would have been a 9.8. This is stunningly beautiful. I was never bored. Matter of fact, I was engaged. Second time through, I even found more to see. And yeah, I cannot wait for this to come out in 4K and have a Dune weekend.
Man, I'm torn on how I want to give a score because I don't think I've ever had this problem before. Because personally, because I'm not a Dune, I'm going to just give 2 scores. I'm not a Dune guy. So personally, my score on this is just like a 6. I'm just not a Dune guy. But from a movie review of the acting and the scenery and the directing, even the soundtrack, I mean, I got to give it a 9. I really have to give it a 9. It is a super beautifully directed, performed, well done movie. It's just not for me. And I guess the other way I could relate that, and this isn't even a dig, I'll say out front, I'm not a Star Trek guy either, but that doesn't mean I can't watch a movie like Wrath of Khan and go, wow, that was a really well done movie, but I'm not a Star Trek guy. So that's how I'm going to do it. From a personal standpoint, it's a 6. I don't care. From a actual technical standpoint, it's a 9. I mean, it's a 9. I agree. I mean, I do. I agree with everything you said. It just didn't capture me like it did you. So,
yep. I'm a sci-fi guy, and this is fantastic sci-fi. So there you have it, guys. We don't agree on this one, but that is okay. That is why we are here in the morning to talk about
that's right.
our reactions.
Put it this way. If Dennis is like, hey, I got it on 4K. Do you want to come over and watch it? Just because I like Dennis's company, I might bring my earbuds and my iPad and pop on a good movie like Green Lantern while Dennis is watching Dune.
And you just lost all the viewers.
Oh, damn you. But you know what? Go sign up for Kor-Drath the Awakening, guys. This campaign launches in, let me look at my watch, less than a month, almost about a month. We're looking at April 6th or 7th. Stay tuned for the exact date, Saturday or Sunday. Sign up. Don't forget, if you sign up and back the campaign, you will get a beautiful Adriana trading card, colors by Kelsey Shannon. You will get front of the line shipping. So when we start fulfillment, you will get your book. Will go out in the first week. There is the cover for the book, the main cover by myself and Dan Lawless. There is the homage cover that we always do for you throwback guys like Dennis and I. We love this stuff. And of course, Dan has in his squeaky little coloring hands now the Bud Root Adriana cover, a perfect complement to the Lilith cover. We can't wait to show you guys that. So go sign up. The page will be coming down soon. Of course, nice and tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. Will be going to the printer soon. This will come down before Kor-Drath the Awakening launches. Get on it. Oversized book featuring some of my favorite fully penciled pages for you guys to check out in all their gloriousness. You don't want to miss this. A unique kind of art book, not just sketches and pinups, but fully penciled pages. You can dissect the storytelling, see the nice rendering of the pencils I did for other guys to ink. Not a lot of these pages have been seen. The limited edition trading card, if you didn't sign up, you can buy it. There's a sketchbook, 64 pages. Originally, I'm reprinting it with 20 new pages of material for the same cost and a digital edition. So guys, go check that out too. Dennis, I hear we have a very special guest next week on the DNA show at a different time, 6 p.m., because we are accommodating people. Who's our guest, Dennis?
Well, it's going to be Karen Whitfield. She is Batgirl, and she has an awesome story to tell. And she will be traveling, so she will be arriving at her destination and hooking up so she can join us live from her location, wherever that may be.
And she has a book out she wrote about being Batgirl. Now, just real quick, not Batgirl on the TV show, but through DC with their blessing, she, back in that time period, has a Batgirl costume. She brings it to conventions that she has on a mannequin behind her. And she would dress up as Batgirl with DC's blessing and stuff to be like an official Batgirl. She's a wonderful person. So join us for that interview next Wednesday. And next Thursday, we'll be seeing another movie. I just don't know which one yet, to be honest with you. Got to see what's coming out.
That's right.
So there you go. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. And like, subscribe, and share. Leave comments. They always help with the algorithms. We, of course, appreciate every one of you watching us. It's because of you guys that allow us to do this. Bye-bye, everybody. Nice and tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. This book features 52 pages of some of my favorite full pencils that I did for other companies over the past 2 decades. The raw pencils as they were seen by the inker, and now you can see them for the first time. This book also comes in a digital format so you can practice your inking in your favorite program. Back it today.